critically acclaimed, is the focus of this tour. She joins us in studio next with David Rawlings, a live performance from Gillian Welch on KCRW.
At least 20 acres and one gin and mule from the Alabama Trust. Half of the cotton, a third of the corn. We get a handful of dust. But we cannot have all things please us, no matter how we try, until we've all gone to Jesus. We can only wonder why. I had a daughter, called her Annabelle. She's the apple of my eye. Tried to give her something like I never had. I didn't want to ever hear her cry. We cannot have all things please us, no matter how we try, until we've all gone to Jesus. We can only wonder why. Now when I'm dead and buried, I'll take a hard life of tears from every day I've ever known. But Anna's in the churchyard, she got no life at all. She only got these words on stone. We cannot have all things please us, no matter how we try, until we've all gone to Jesus. We can only wonder why.
Gillian Welch and David Rawlings live on KCRW's Morning Becomes Eclectic. Annabelle, you can find this on the album Revival, which is new from Almo Sounds. It marks the recording debut of Gillian Welch. It's great to have you back. Good to see you guys. It's great to see you. I was thinking about this morning. This is your third visit to the show, and I was thinking back on the first time I heard your stuff. I guess your first visit here was October '94, so it must have been like a month or so before that, maybe 2 months, in the latter part of 1994, like August of '94.
That sounds right. I would have been out here. I think that was the first meeting I ever had with Jerry Moss. I came out here to do the go play in the big record man's office. Yeah,
at that time you were a a songwriter for hire, essentially, weren't you?
Pretty much, yeah. My first professional venture in Nashville was as a writer, really. I got a staff writing job. That's what they call it, staff writing job. I don't show up anywhere with a briefcase or anything.
Yeah.
But for Alma Irving in Nashville, they were the first ones to start giving me money for what I do.
Yeah. And I remember that a friend of yours, an old friend of yours, high school friend, I guess, Daniel Heinerfeld, happens to be one of the producers of Which Way LA here at KCRW, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to pass you a tape from a friend of mine," and I remember listening to it. You know, I could tell by his eyes, this is not just any tape, Chris, you know.
That he was serious about it.
Yeah, he was serious about it, and he really was wanting us to take a quick listen, which of course we did. And
I remember our first meeting was in the hallway out there.
Yeah.
We sat on the bench outside, you and me and Denise, my manager.
Right. That's right, I remember that. And afterwards, I think you went to see Jerry Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so grateful for having gotten that tape, because we ended up playing the heck out of that tape.
So I've heard.
Yeah, which eventually turned into songs that you took into the studio with T-Bone Burnett, who produced the first album, which has been out now for some few months now.
A couple months, yeah. April 9, I guess, was the release date.
Yeah, that's right, first part of April. And it's been getting just amazing response. So I have to congratulate you.
Well, thank you. You've kind of been in from the beginning. I was going to say, how many versions of these tunes have you heard now?
Well,
we've only got one album out, but you probably have 4 different versions of any of these songs.
That's true. We do have several DATs floating around. But it's neat because you do kind of approach the song differently nearly every time you perform it. I mean, that's part of the...
It changes around some. Everything changed, well, just on one level when Dave got that guitar, for instance.
Yeah, you're pointing to an Epiphone guitar that you picked up, Dave, I guess, shortly before you recorded the album.
Right.
All right.
I'd had it a little longer than that, but it was it had come out of a friend's basement, and it was very dirty and didn't have a bridge and needed quite a lot of work to be done to it. But I'd kind of tapped on it a little bit, and I liked the way the box sounded, so I fixed it up. And
Can you tap on it for us?
There you go.
Yeah.
I thought it sounded pretty good.
and just could you play a lick or two just to... It's got kind of a mandolin feel to it.
Yeah, or almost a dobro or something.
It almost sounds kind of resophonic.
Yeah,
neat.
Yeah.
Real nasal.
There's no sound hole as like a proper sound hole. It's got sound holes like a violin might have.
F-holes. Yeah.
F-holes, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, this next song is actually one that turned up on the album to my surprise. I hadn't heard it before you guys made the album, and I was so blown away by it. And you guys are going to give us a different reading of it here this morning, right?
Yeah, we'll tell you that this is how it sounded when it went out over the airwaves when we played on the Opry. Because we made our debut, just the two of us.
With this song. With this one.
Called Paper Wings.
Paper Wings. This is a song written by Gillian Welch and David Rawlings, live on KCRW.
Torn and bent, you made me feel like they were heaven sent. Paper wings, not real at all. They took me high enough to really fall. Your paper kisses faded too soon, just like a paper rose beneath a paper moon. Paper wings, paper wings. paper wings, paper wings. Oh, how could I expect to fly with only paper wings? I tried to fly, but found that I had only paper wings. Oh.
I can almost hear T-Bone Burnett in the studio as you guys are doing this song, saying, "Lay back in the song, lay back into it." You know.
Yeah,
He did have to give the band kind of a anti-pep talk.
that's right.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He had to. What did he say? It was supposed to sound like our main character was standing on the building ledge, you know,
Wow.
with a knife in her hand, and she was either going to jump or kill the guy that had broken her heart. So
Sort of a Billie Holiday "Don't Explain" kind of
yeah,
haze.
and we had candles lit in the studio. We actually cut that one in Nashville, the version that's on the record, with a great bass player named Roy Husky Jr. and Buddy Harmon playing drums, who used to play with Lefty Frizzell and all those guys. Great country drummer.
Wow.
So they really got into it, though. Roy had to step outside after that one, kind of shake it off.
It's called Paper Wings. You can find that on Revival. It's the debut release from Gillian Welch, who is joined by David Rawlings, partner and songwriting partner, performance partner, great harmonizer. Really good team. Really
Thank
good
you.
team. Where'd you find this guy? I forget how you guys first came across each
This
other.
guy, Dave, I found him, we actually met at an audition in Boston. We were both auditioning for this country band, and we both got in. Dave was kind of a telly player, you know, playing lead guitar, and I was singing.
What'd you call him? A telly player?
Telecaster.
Yeah,
Oh,
Telecaster.
Telecaster.
He was playing a Telecaster, and we did that. That was the tail end of our school days in Boston, and then we moved to Nashville about 4 years ago,
Together.
and that's really when we started arranging my songs the way we play them now. Really, we had no more forethought about it than the fact that it was easier to go play these open mics with the acoustic guitars. You know, that was really the guiding principle.
Yeah, and about the same
back
time,
then.
we were listening to a lot of the Blue Sky Boys and early Brother Team stuff that's arranged for the
Two
lead
guitars,
instrument
yeah.
and a rhythm instrument and two voices. So kind of all happened naturally.
Well, how long have you been writing songs, Gillian? I mean, I know that you also spend time as a photographer, and you have other forms of creative expression.
Yeah, I did a few other things. I was seriously into ceramic sculpture when I went to college. That's what I did in high school, and went to college and assumed I was going to be a visual artist, because I only ever played guitar in my bedroom. I was a little shy about performing in front of people. But I started keeping a songwriting notebook when I was in 8th or 9th grade, I guess. Actually, just down the street from here. I went to Crossroads. So
Yeah.
just a number of blocks from this studio.
Yeah.
And that, I don't really know what started me doing that. I was listening to a lot of singer-songwriter types, Richard Thompson and James Taylor and Paul Simon and Joan Armatrading, a bunch of those guys. That's probably who I was listening to when I felt moved to express myself as a teenager.
Well, it's interesting the way you went musically, that, the lineage that you now sort of, your songs seem to conjure up.
Well, I had a bluegrass epiphany.
Yeah.
So
What triggered that?
this one Stanley Brothers record.
Yeah?
I was living in Santa Cruz with a bluegrass band, and one of the guys was actually also a bluegrass DJ, and had a great record collection. A fellow named Mike McKinley. up there in the Bay Area, and he put on this great Stanley Brothers record from the 50s. It's a live record, and I've told this story before, but it really is what changed my life. So what the heck? I was cleaning the bathtub, and he put on this record, and I couldn't believe it. The stuff just went straight into my head, and I thought, that's what I need to do.
It could have been a combination of the cleaner you were using.
It could have been the fumes from the Comet,
and the Stanley Brothers.
Absolutely.
Some sort of like marriage of the two. If I had a nickel for every time an artist came through the studio saying that the Stanley Brothers changed their life or influenced them or pulled them one way or another.
Is that true?
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Wilco, Sunvolt, those come to mind immediately.
Well, Ralph Stanley is just, he's a national treasure.
Yeah.
And he's still kicking around. You can go see him.
You go to the stores.
Crazy.
You go to the stores and you look under his name, and the bin's always empty.
Yeah.
The record stores.
And he only has about 80 albums out.
They're just hard to find.
Yeah.
Well, let's head into another song that you've recently added to your notebook of material.
We're gonna play a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's called Caleb Meyer. Huh?
Caleb Meyer. Yeah.
I need to adjust my tuning a little. I actually
Okay.
started writing this one on a banjo, and so I kind of try to approximate that banjo sound.
Ah. Is Caleb Meyer, is this a real person?
No, he's kind of a figment of my imagination.
Okay.
I must have been in a strange mood the day I wrote this one.
Gillian Welch has dates in Southern California tomorrow at the Coach House in San Juan Capistrano, Friday at Hear Music, Santa Monica Promenade, 1 o'clock in-store performance, and then Saturday night at McCabe's, a couple of shows, which are nearing sold-out capacity if they haven't been sold out already. There are 2 shows on Sunday night at McCabe's as well. We're hearing a live performance.
Long one evening back at my house, Caleb come around.
chains. But when I go to sleep at night, don't you call my name. Caleb Meyer, your ghost is gone away, them rattling chains. But when I go to sleep at night, don't you call my name.
That is wonderful.
Nice.
Wonderful new stuff. From Gillian Welch with David Rawlings' live performance, Morning Becomes Eclectic on KCRW. It's called Caleb Meyer. You won't find that on the album, which is called Revival, by the way, new from Almo Sounds. That's brand new stuff. How old is that song, by the way?
Late February.
Late February. Are you writing a lot right now, or have you had a chance to?
Going through a little bit of a spurt. It was kind of tough right when the record came out. We were really driving around. We were driving and talking and playing music sometimes. And so I didn't do a lot of writing there for a couple months. But now we've got a couple new songs that have joined the set.
Have you been able to sort of pinpoint the way the things come to you, how they strike you, particular moments of the day or things that you might be doing that inspire you?
I don't really know. It's hard to say. It's always different, but there's usually one line will just jump into my head for no particular reason.
Like a phrase or something?
Yeah, Caleb Meyer, I don't know, the name just came to me, and it's usually the very first line of the first verse, you know? It just starts at the beginning.
Wow.
Yeah.
How interesting.
You know? And that one pretty much all spilled out in roughly a day. They usually do. And then it'll take a couple days to mop up some adjectives and whatnot, you know.
I like that idea, mopping up some adjectives. This is one that's from the album, and we're having to retune on this. While you're doing that, I want to point out that there are several shows left in Southern California where people can check out Gillian Welch with David Rawlings. Coach House in San Juan Capistrano tomorrow. Hear Music on the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica on Friday at 1 o'clock. McCabe's on Saturday, 8 and 10:30 performances. Those are both sold out, I'm told. They added a third show on Sunday at 7 o'clock, which is also sold out. And now they've added a fourth as of today. Sunday night at 9:30. We're running out of the weekend, guys. You know, they're going to have to add a midnight show on Sunday.
Well, we'll come back.
Yeah. It's terrific to see that kind of response. It really is. Must be gratifying.
Oh, it is. I mean, I have a long history with McCabe's because I used to live around here, and that was one of my favorite places to go see people. In fact, I bought my first guitar there.
Really?
Yeah. So anyhow, I have a little bit of a history with them.
Well, you know, just to catch people up, I guess your parents were in New York. I don't know if that was where you were born. Or
yeah, that's where I was born.
You were born in New York.
Yeah.
And they were professional writers for television, comedy writers.
Right. I don't think. Well, you know, they had worked in television when they lived out there, theater and television. I know my dad used to work for the Gary Moore Show, and various other things.
Kraft Music Hall.
Yeah, Kraft Music Hall. And when Carol, they knew Carol. My dad used to be her vocal coach.
Vocal coach for Carol Burnett.
Yeah, and my mom knew her too. I'm a little shady on that stuff that happened before I was around, but she got her TV show out here and asked them to come out and work on it. So the family moved out here in '71, I guess.
I see.
My sister and I, and they did that for about 8 years. So yes, Fridays were spent down at CBS and in the studio. Do
you remember, like, if that had any impact on you, being around the show, being around Carol Burnett, that you can recall, that you can isolate?
Just that she's a really nice, funny lady. You know, I'd say it has more to do with just coming from a family where there. Well, the Carol Burnett show was an exception. That was a steady paycheck for my folks. But when they left that show, then it was really feast or famine, and I think that had an effect upon me. I think it helped me be able to deal with the fact that my own income is pretty up and down, and has been for a while. You just don't, it's not a real steady job.
It's an artist's life.
Yeah. And then, of course, there was the more artistic side of everybody in the family played music. So, and was, my folks were more than happy to give piano lessons, drum lessons, ukulele lessons, recorder lessons, singing lessons.
Auto harp lessons.
Everything. So,
Gillian Welch is in the studio with David Rawlings. Here's one from the album Revival.
This is a tune about a little flower called the Acony Bell.
Acony Bell, that's Gillian Welch with David Rawlings. Live performance, Morning Becomes Eclectic on KCRW. Look for that song on Revival. It's the recording debut release from Gillian Welch. Find it on Almo Sounds, and she is in town for performances yet in Southern California. Tomorrow at the Coach House in San Juan Capistrano, Friday at 1 o'clock at Hear Music's Santa Monica Promenade, and then Saturday and Sunday nights, couple of shows at McCabe's. The only ones with tickets remaining really are the Sunday night show at 9:30 at McCabe's in Santa Monica. This next one's actually a live favorite of yours, something that you guys have been doing around town and across the country in live performance. It's a cover tune.
Yes, it has a rather complicated history. It's kind of a part of oral tradition. I learned it from that guy that turned me on to the Stanley Brothers, Mike McKinley.
Good guy.
Good guy.
What
yes.
was that Stanley Brothers record, by the way?
It's called The Legendary Stanley Brothers. It's on Rebel. I think it's Volume 1, but there are 2 volumes.
No, I think it's Volume 2.
Okay.
I think Volume 1's the red one.
One's got a red top, one's got a yellow top, and a black and white photograph of the Stanleys on stage.
It's whichever one has Rank Stranger on it. Right?
Yeah.
The one with Rank Stranger. Yeah, Dwight Yoakam was another one. I was trying to think of who else.
Yes.
Dwight Yoakam, who said, Ralph Stanley.
Yes.
Yeah, when we were on the road with Sunvolt, they were playing a great tune called She's More to Be Pitied, which is actually, I guess it's from the 1800s. It's
The
not
Stanley Brothers did a great version
Yeah,
of
they
it.
did a wonderful version of it.
Yeah, big fans of the Stanley Brothers and the Lewin Brothers. And
Yes.
all right, so this one, we don't know who wrote this, right?
It's a big hodgepodge. It's probably part Woody Guthrie and Eric Anderson, and then I threw in a couple of verses and also appropriated some what I call bluegrass fodder.
So it's like
those interchangeable bluegrass verses.
a chain letter.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm going away, my baby. I'm gonna leave you, honey pie. That train passed by and you lay sleeping. I'm gonna write you a letter on dusty boxcar. Now the only 2 things that a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk. And the only time that he's satisfied when he's all drunk. So I'm going away, my baby. I'm gonna leave you, honey pie. That train passed by and you lay asleep. I'm gonna write you a letter on a dusty boxcar wall. Write me a letter. Well, I once loved a boy in Cincinnati, and I loved a boy in sunny Tennessee. Well, city boy, fill your heart with sadness, but a country boy's as good as he can be. So I'm going away, my baby. I'm gonna leave you, honey pie. That train passed by and you lay asleep. I'm gonna write you a letter on a dusty boxcar. I'm going away, my baby. I'm gonna leave you, honey pie. When that train passed by and you lay asleep, I'm gonna write you a letter on a dusty boxcar. I'm gonna write you a letter on a dusty boxcar. I'm gonna write you a letter on a dusty boxcar
Dusty Boxcar Wall. Gillian Welch and David Rawlings live on KCRW. It's been great to see you guys again.
Nice to be here
Thanks for
again.
having
Really terrific. The one song that I think people first took notice of you for on KCRW was Orphan Girl, which is something I guess we were playing first on. And then Emmylou Harris covered it on her album, Wrecking Ball, which got the Grammy attention. Is Orphan Girl, is that a biographical song? Are you an orphan girl, Gillian?
I'm not. In fact, I'm probably an orphan girl in my soul. But no, I do have a mom and dad.
Well, we knew that, but I didn't know if they were your real parents or not.
Well, I'm adopted. So
well, then
you can interpret that as you may.
That's okay. That's what I was getting at. Because I mean, so you don't really know who your real parents were.
No. Sort of this, I get to entertain romantic notions about who all I know is that my mom was a freshman at some university in New York, and my dad was a musician. And that's about it. And I was adopted when I was 3 days old. 3 days old. Well, so that wasn't very long to be an orphan.
Right. So is your sister your real sister?
No. I mean, yes, but not,
Yeah, technically.
We do not share the same DNA.
Wow.
But they look just alike. It's very
I know.
So technically you are an orphan girl, but you I mean, that sort of conjures up like you didn't have parents or something.
Right. Yeah, that's a bit far-fetched. I'd be stretching it a bit.
Well, it does, I'm sure, at times make you wonder, about how things might have been. Or
yes, it's curious to think who could have been passing through New York City in January of '67.
Yeah. I think it's a beautiful story, though, because you obviously it's all played out rather beautifully.
Yeah, well, thank you.
We'll see you again. Thanks for coming back to see us.
Oh, I'll come back anytime.
Gillian Welch and David Rawlings on KCRW's Morning Becomes Eclectic. On KCRW, our thanks to Tracy Skelly, David Grant, Bob Carlson engineered this live broadcast, Terry Curtis, our assistant this morning. Producer is Gemma Dempsey. Big help and thanks today from Tracy Saratine. I'm Chris Doritas, back tomorrow from 9 to noon. Special guest Neil Lara at 11:15. Friday it's Golden Smog. Gillian Welch appears tomorrow at the Coach House. Friday at Hear Music for an in-store appearance at 1 o'clock. Saturday and Sunday night at McCabe's. I've got 5 pairs of tickets for our subscribers to check out the Coach House show in San Juan Capistrano. It's tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. In addition, you'll receive an autographed copy of her debut CD, Revival. Package available first come, first served to our subscribers, only 310-452-6700, 452-6700. Monitor Radio's up next.
For the Christian